Okay, everyone, this is my presentation on the grounds crew supervisor position. Some of the job responsibilities are running the crew of 5 to 20 employees. We have to prepare for events like regional contests and open house. We have to put up barricades blocking off roads. Lots of times we have to paint extra parking lots in the grass for the bigger events. We have to train the employees on new tasks and how to properly run the equipment. And lots of times we have meetings and we have to communicate with other offices on campus to make sure everything runs smoothly. Second slide is painting lines and logos. You can see last year was our 150th year at Cortland State. That's actually a logo that I painted on. We had it in two spots. That's actually on in our residential dorms area. I also paint lines on the sports fields. Besides our stadium complex, we have the soccer fields and the rugby fields. They have to meet NCAA requirements. When we host playoffs, the refs or officials will actually come with measuring tapes and make sure the lines are accurate and within the right qualifications. It's important to make sure that the painter is clean between jobs. Make sure the lines are the correct width. They have to be within 4 inches. So the painter has to be clean so it does its job right. The next slide, pesticides. So actually I spray pesticides a lot of the times because I take care of the sports fields at the complex. So 3 of the main pesticides that we spray are herbicides, insecticides, and fungicides. We also apply fertilizer to the game field, which adds nutrients. We spray pesticides in New York State. You have to be certified. There's a 30-hour course you have to take before you take the New York State pesticide test. Every 3 years we have to go back for continuous education to make sure we're up to date on the correct way to do it. We also have to save our records. We have to keep a detailed record of what we spray, when we spray, and exactly where at we spray. We have to keep these records for 7 years in case the DEC wants to check our records to make sure that we're in compliance. Mowing, that's a huge part of what we do on campus. We have 196 total acres. So there's 2 main types of mowers that we use. The reel mowers, which we predominantly use on the game fields because we like to keep those nice and smooth, kind of like a fairway or a putting surface. The next is the rotary mower, which we use basically on the rest of campus. So a lot of times we have to collect our clippings, which we do on, say, the infield of baseball or on the president's lawn, so that way it looks pristine and for aesthetics reasons. Other than that, we basically let the clippings go in the fields to help put nutrients into the grass. So on to the next slide, mowing patterns. So we do a lot of mowing patterns. You can see here there's a couple of different mowing patterns, baseball fields, soccer fields. So the biggest thing that you want to do before you start mowing is, if you have a pattern in mind, you want to visually put it on the field because you want to make sure that pattern's going to fit. You can't very well do circles in the outfield of baseball because it's at a curve. So it's not going to fit. So you want to make sure that whatever design you're going to put is also going to look good from the fans' view when they're in the stands. You know, are they going to understand what that pattern means, or are they just going to see some mishmash of lines going all over the field? Straight lines are difficult to do. You can't master it in a short amount of time. It does take a little while in practice on these mowers to get straight lines. We do a lot of events on campus throughout the years. We've done lots of, obviously, graduations, open house, move-ins and move-outs, and a lot of sporting events. We have hosted Syracuse lacrosse games in our stadium complex. We have 1 major open house a year and 2 or 3 other mini open houses throughout the year. Graduation with commencement. We have to obviously organize all these things We want to make sure that we're not in that area doing work at the time when these events are going on, and we do what we can prior. So it takes a lot of scheduling leading up to that day, so that way we're not running around on that day trying to get everything done in the last second. As the grounds crew supervisor, it's your job to take care of that and make sure everything runs smoothly. The second half of the year, when we're not doing all the grass and the pesticides, it's snow removal. We have a lot of lots. So we have 6,300 students, I believe, last year. So we have a lot of sidewalks, a lot of parking lots that we have to make sure that are cleared out. Lots of times the staff is in there at 5 a.m. Lots of times the kids traveling are there by 7 a.m. So most of these lots have to be done prior to them getting there before they fill up the areas. As well with the sidewalks, especially the sporting kids, they come down for breakfast at 6 a.m. Classes, sometimes start around 8. So depending on, you have to coordinate what area you have to clean off first. We have salters on the back of our tractors, so we make sure that the area that we've been through stays salted and clear for the remainder of the day. We also have teams of shovelers that go around and shovel all the entranceways to the academics and the dorms to make sure the kids can get out through to their classes. All our ADA accessible handicap areas are definitely a priority on campus, so we make sure we spend some time there, because we pick up and deliver kids all over the campus with our vans, so that's a priority. Last but not least, this ground crew supervisor can be used all over, obviously on the colleges, but in universities, but in high schools as well. Minor and Major League Baseball teams have a ground crew supervisor, as well as golf courses. They have the supervisor and the assistant supervisor. My goal is to hold the position of the grounds crew supervisor at Cortland State. There's a picture of our old main facility. It's right behind our Miller building where our admissions is. All right, guys, thanks for taking the time to listen to my presentation.